Hello and welcome to the chapter 14 of the MakeStories 101 course. In this course, we will look at the canvas area of the MakeStories editor. So this is basically the canvas area, this one. And this is all the things that it has around itself. So this is basically a part where you will be spending most of your time because you will be adding your image as a background, you will be adding text elements and so many different things. So here you can see that in the canvas area that you have, the first thing that you will notice is the grid lines or the rulers. So these are the rulers. One is the horizontal ruler and the another one is the vertical ruler. And then when you hover over the ruler, you can see a grid line that comes up. So this is a grid line which you can use to define specific grid points. So suppose if you want to give a margin of 20 pixels on both the sides, then you can have grid lines. If you remember, when we clicked on background, we had something called as preset ruler. So here if you click 20 pixels, you can add these particular preset rulers, or else you can go in and you can select those manually by your own self. So this is the first thing that we had to see in the canvas section. Now the second option you can see is the slide number over here. So slide number is basically the number of slide that you are working on at this point of time. And these are the indicators. So you can navigate between slides using the arrow buttons over here, or you can even click on this particular indicator. So this is the slide which is active will be marked as dark black, and then the other things will be grayed out. So you can see we are on slide 1, so slide 1 is marked as black, and then the other two are grayed out. The third thing that you will see is the music icon over here. So the music icon will appear only when you add the music to an entire story or any specific slide. So if we see the slide number 1 has this music icon. So when you hover over this icon, it will open up and you will see two options. The number one option is the delete and the second option is play. When you click on play, it will play the audio that is set on this particular slide or the story. And when you click on delete, it will delete this audio. Alternatively, if you go into the audio tab, if you have applied an audio to a single slide, you will see a remove button in front of that audio file. Then the next thing that we will see around the canvas is this tooltip. Now this tooltip basically changes the content depending on the situation. So right now, since we have nothing selected on the canvas, you can see only two options over here: the one that says add text and the another one that says add media. Now when you click on add text icon, as the name suggests, it will add the text over here on the canvas. Now you can again move this and then you can do your editing, you can remove, you can do whatever you want to do with this text element. Added by a tooltip. Now you can see that when I click on a text element, the options have changed. I still have the add text and the add media option, but I also have another option which says copy element and the second one which says delete element. Now I will click the copy element, and when I click it, you can see that this element is copied and a duplicate of this element has been created. Now let's try to add another media element over here. Now when you click on media element, you will be taken to the media library. So I will add this media to this slide. Now you can see that when I go in and I click this image, there is another option that says change image over here. So I click on change image, and you can see that if I click this, the element remains the same, but the image now changes. This can be really helpful when you use any of the templates. So let's say I will just select a template. Let's go in and try to use the Netflix template, and let's use this one. Now when I click on this image, I can select change, and I can use this, and the image changes. So this change image function can be really useful when you use the templates, because while using the template, if you use the change image object, you can visualize how your story is going to look like in this template, and all you will have to do is you will have to change the images. So this thing can come in very handy while using one of the templates. Now let's say I have selected an image as a background. I have applied this image as a background. Now when you click on the background, again you will see a change image button. And when you do this, the image in the background will change immediately. So this is how the tooltip changes depending on the element you are using, or depending on the background that you click, or if there is nothing in the on the canvas, then you are left with two options, that is add text and add media. Now the next option that you have is the control bar at the bottom. So here you can see that we have options like previous, next. So these two options will basically allow you to navigate from one slide to another slide. Now you can also see that there are two plus buttons on both the sides. This one is like add page before, and this one says add page after. Now when you click on add page after, it will add a slide after this current slide. So now you can see that the current slide is still slide number 2, but we have a third slide added after slide number 2. Now if I am on slide number 2 and I click on add page before, it will add a slide before the current slide. So the slide that was number 2 is number 3, and we have a new slide at number 2 position. I will delete these slides now. So you can delete the entire slide by clicking the delete page button. Now here we have an option that says play animation. So here you can see that we had this image animated with a zoom in effect, and then we did not animate this. Okay, not a problem. So now when I click on play animation, you can visualize the zoom in animation in the background right over here. Then we are left with another option that says duplicate page. So as the name suggests, if I click on duplicate page, the current page will be duplicated. So you can see the entire both these pages are totally identical. Now the last option that is left in this is the toggle overlay area. So what does this mean? The toggle overlay area means when you click this, it will basically show you the UI that you will see in the final AMP story. So let's say I will inspect element this, and I will see how it looks on a mobile phone. So here you can see that we have an option for sharing. Then we have this AMP story, slide number UI. All of this UI will be replicated within your editor. So suppose if you are adding a logo, let's say I want to add my logo over here in this particular section, like this. So initially, when I was designing without the overlay area, I thought that this is how it will look in my story on a mobile phone. But eventually, when I did take a look at the final story, I can now see that the audio icon and the share icon is now above my logo. So if you want to avoid such thing to happen, you can just click on toggle overlay area, and you can have a visual experience of what your story is going to look like when it will be played on a mobile phone. So now I know that okay, so the my icon will be overridden by the share icon. So I will now move it to the left and again click on toggle over area, and then I can see okay, this looks particularly fine. So this is how you can make the use of toggle overlay area. Now in the bottom bar, you can see various options. Number one is the language. So I am happy to let you know that MakeStories is available in English, Spanish, German, French, Italian, Portuguese, and Russian. So if you find the language of your choice, you can select this. So the moment you select the language, your entire editor will be converted to the language of your choice. If you select Italian, it will be converted to Italian, and so on. Then these are the two icons for undo and redo. If I click on undo, then all the actions that I have performed on the canvas will be undo to the last position available. Then there is an option that says auto advance. We will see this into detail in the lesson in the future. Now here we have an option that says save as a template, but we have already seen this in one of the videos in our previous lectures. The another option that we have over here is say reorder. So when you click on reorder, you will be shown the slides that are on the story. So you can then drag drop these like this, and you can click on save order. So the slides will be saved in the order of your choice. The last option that we have on the canvas is the zoom. So here when you click, you will see some predefined options. So you can click on one of the options and the canvas will be zoomed in accordingly. Now this is one of the options that you can use. But let's say you don't want to use them, then what you can do is you can also pinch zoom on your touch bar, like this, and it will zoom in and zoom out the canvas. Another option is by pressing command minus minus minus, and then come for zooming out, and using command plus for zooming in. So these are the shortcuts that you can use for zooming in and zooming out. Now, one another thing that you can use on the Make Stories editor is by right clicking something. So this is a context menu that comes up. It basically does lot of things that you can do using shortcuts, or you can use one of these options. But again, if you there are multiple options, different users like different things. So we have all the options for everyone. Now let's say I click on this text element, and I right click this, and I want to copy the style because I really like the font and the colors and everything. So I will click on copy style. Now I will add a new text element over here, and then I will right click here and I will click on paste styles. So you can see that the font size, color, and everything is applied to the new heading element that we have used. Similarly, you can send this backward, send this forward. So you can do this using your layer tabs, and then you can cut, copy, paste, you can delete, and then you can align this. You can, like, if I want this at the bottom, I will click on bottom and it will be taken to the bottom. So this is how you can and then when you so this particular context menu again changes with the type of element that you click on. Since I have clicked the text element, I am getting these options. But if I click on the canvas, then I will get different options like add page before, add page after, then duplicate page, play animation. So if you all of these options you can also use by clicking one of these icons. So again, there are different ways to do the same thing in Make Stories. So please feel free to use it in the way you want to. There is no restriction that you should do things in a certain manner. You Every user might have a different choice, and you can use Make Stories in the way you want. So with this, we have seen all the options that we have very close to the canvas and in the middle section of the Make Stories. Now, in the future lessons, we will see the design animation and the settings tab. So that's it for this lesson. See you in the next one.